We are not starting with a pleasantry today. We are
Yeah.
not starting with the weather, and we are certainly not starting with small talk.
No,
We are starting with a fight.
a big one.
A fight that broke out in, I think, the absolute last place you would expect to find high-stakes drama or, like, deep philosophical warfare.
It sounds like an exaggeration, but it really, really isn't. We are going to a niche internet forum.
Right.
And not just any forum, a forum for chimney sweeps. Chimney inspectors, code geeks.
Exactly. You can picture this place,
Yeah.
right? It's usually guys arguing about, I don't know, brush sizes or ladder safety protocol.
Or complaining about a difficult roof pitch, maybe.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's mundane. It's trade talk. But this specific fight, which started over a simple geometry problem, spiraled into something that, frankly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
It's a wild ride.
It evolved into a discussion about quantum physics, U.S. military psychological warfare manuals from the 1970s,
Right.
and eventually a $50,000 winner-take-all sales tournament.
It is, and I say this without a doubt, one of the strangest stacks of source material we have ever had to analyze.
I agree.
On one side of the desk, we have technical code books for masonry, very dry, very rigid.
We're rule books.
In the middle, we have a breakdown of this high-stakes bracket-style tournament. And then, sitting right on top, looking completely out of place, we have the First Earth Battalion Field Manual.
Which, for those of you who haven't gone down that specific rabbit hole, is the real-life military document that inspired the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats.
That's the one.
It's all about creating warrior monks. And our main character today, a man named Ray Gessner, is using that manual to revolutionize chimney sweeping.
That is the claim. And it's not just a gimmick.
It's not.
No, Ray Gessner isn't just fixing chimneys. He is trying to fundamentally reprogram the mind of the technician. He argues that if you want to be an elite tradesman, and more importantly, an elite educator and salesperson, you have to master your own consciousness first.
Okay, so the mission for this deep dive is to trace that arc. We need to understand how a dispute over brick angles led to a mind warfare sales competition.
A long and winding road.
And to do that, we have to start with the hook, the post that started it all.
Right. So this happened on a professional industry forum. Usually these places are for advice. How do I clean this liner? Or what's the code for this clearance?
Gendered stuff.
Yeah, very standard. Ray Gessner bypasses all of that. He drops a post that is essentially a gauntlet. He posts the challenge, and he puts up $5,000 of his own money.
Which is a massive flex for a forum post.
Oh, huge.
Usually you get a thumbs up or maybe a thank you. Ray is putting cash on the table.
$5,000. He says the money goes to anyone, or is split among everyone, who can answer one single multiple-choice question correctly.
And he claims, what, no tricks?
Supposedly. Just a question about his trade. The question was, what is the maximum angle from vertical that a corbelled smoke chamber can incline?
Okay, we need to pause right there. Before we get into the answers and the drama, we need to define our terms.
Good idea.
Corbelled smoke chamber. Break that down for us non-sweeps. What are we actually looking at here?
Sure. So picture a fireplace. You have the firebox at the bottom. That's where the logs burn.
Got it.
Then you have the chimney flue. That's the pipe or the channel going up to the sky. The smoke chamber is the transition area between them.
Okay.
It's shaped like an inverted funnel. Its job is to take the smoke from the wide firebox and compress it, sort of, so it flows smoothly up the narrow flue.
So it's a funnel made of brick.
That's a perfect way to put it, correct. And corbelling is the method of building that funnel. You lay one brick, and then the next brick on top of it sticks out a little bit further into the empty space.
Oh, I see.
You step them out layer by layer to create a slope.
Got it. So it's like an upside-down staircase made of bricks.
Exactly. Like stone pyramids, but on the inside of your chimney.
And Ray asked for the maximum angle of that slope. The options he gave were A, 45 degrees, B, 30 degrees, or C, 21 degrees.
Simple enough on the surface, you'd think. And the community jumped on it immediately.
I bet.
Now, you have to understand, in this industry, there are two Bibles. You have the NFPA 211, that's the National Fire Protection Association standard.
Right.
And you have the IRC, the International Residential Code. These are the rule books that inspectors and sweeps live by.
A holy text of the trade.
That's it. And the book smart crowd immediately grabbed them. They treated this like a lookup test.
An open book exam.
Totally. So one group found the section in NFPA 211 that discusses smoke chambers. It explicitly says that smoke chamber walls shall not be inclined more than 45 degrees.
So option A,
Yeah.
45 degrees,
Yep.
open and shut case. The book says 45, so the answer is 45. Done.
That's what they thought. They were confident. They were posting the page number, the section number. They were sure they had it.
Well-
But then you had the second group, the IRC crowd. They found section R1001.8.3 in the residential code, and it limits the slope of corbelled masonry to 30 degrees. So they started shouting, in all caps, "No, you're wrong. The limit is 30. The IRC says 30.
So now you have a conflict between two major standards, the 45s versus the 30s.
A classic code war.
And both groups are pointing at a book, just a different page in a different book, and they're both convinced they are right.
Completely convinced.
But Ray included a third option, 21 degrees.
Which almost nobody picked.
Why not? I mean, why even include it if it's not in the books?
Because 21 isn't a round number. Think about it. In the world of building codes, you see 90, 45, 30.
Right, standard angles. Easy to remember.
Those are standard angles. 21 looks random. It looks too specific. It looks like math.
And that was the trap.
That was the trap. Because Ray wasn't testing their ability to look up a number in a book.
He wasn't testing your reading comprehension?
Not at all. He was testing their understanding of physical reality, of physics.
This is where the story gets good. Ray, he just let them argue for a while.
Oh, yeah. He let the 45 people fight the 30 people. He let the thread grow. And then after everyone had dug their trenches, he dropped the proof.
Yeah.
And the proof blew the thread apart. Ray completely ignored the smoke chamber code sections.
He didn't even reference them.
Didn't care what the smoke chamber section said. He went to the structural masonry code, IRC R1003.5.
And what's that section for?
This is the section that governs how you can stack bricks so they don't, fall down due to gravity.
Gravity rules. The laws of physics. That seems more fundamental.
Right. It's the most fundamental rule. And the rule for corbelling, for stepping bricks out, is very specific. It says you can only project a unit out by half of its height or 1/3 of its depth.
Okay, walk us through the geometry of that. If I'm holding a standard brick, how does that rule translate to an angle?
So a standard U.S. brick is about 2¼ inches high. The structural code basically says you can't step it out more than an inch or so for each course. It's about maintaining a stable center of gravity.
Okay, I think I'm following.
So if you follow that structural code, meaning you only step it out as much as is safe to keep the structure sound, you are physically limited in how steep you can build that wall.
And if you do the math?
If you do the trigonometry rise over run, the steepest angle you can physically build with standard bricks while obeying the fundamental structural code is roughly 21 degrees.
Wow.
Any more than that, and you're building something that wants to fall in on itself.
This is the aha moment right here. This is the core insight. The code book allows you to go to 30 or 45 degrees in the smoke chamber section.
It gives you legal permission, yes.
It gives you legal permission.
Mm-hmm.
But physics says, I don't care what your permit says, if you build it at 45 degrees with standard bricks using standard corbelling, it is structurally unsound.
Exactly. It's the difference between what's legal and what's possible, or what's legal and what's safe. Ray's point was that the industry is full of paper tigers.
Paper tigers.
People who memorize the text, the limit is 30, but don't understand the material they are holding in their hands. You physically cannot build a 30-degree slope with standard corbelling. It's geometrically impossible if you are following the structural rules that keep things from collapsing.
So Ray wins the bet, clearly.
You'd think.
He proved 21 is the physical limit. The 45 people are wrong. The 30 people are wrong. He takes his $5,000 back and enjoys the victory lap.
You would think so. But this is where it gets messy and honestly a bit cynical.
How so?
Ray had appointed a judge for this contest, a respected industry figure named John Caesar.
An arbiter.
Right. And Caesar reviewed Ray's math. He admitted the math was correct. He admitted that geometrically Ray was right, but he ruled against Ray.
He ruled against the physics. How do you rule against math?
He ruled that the correct answer for the purpose of the contest was 30 degrees.
What was the logic there? That doesn't make any sense.
His logic was that because the industry operates on the 30-degree standard, and inspectors pass 30-degree chambers.
Wait, how do they pass them if they can't be built?
Usually because the masons will parge over the bricks with mortar, smoothing it out, so you can't even see the corbelling. An inspector just measures the angle of the smooth surface.
Oh, so they hide the structural problem.
Essentially. So the judge's logic was a reasonable professional would give the answer that's accepted in the field, even if it's physically wrong. He called Ray's question a trick.
That is incredibly frustrating.
It's insane.
It's like asking, how fast can this car go? And the manual says 200 miles per hour, but the engine physically blows up at 100. Ray says, it can go 100.
Yeah.
And the judge says, no, the manual says 200, so you lose.
That is a perfect analogy. And here is the pivot point for the entire story. The moment everything changes.
Okay.
Most people in Ray's position would have raged. They would have refused to pay. They would have called the judge an idiot on the forum.
Right. They'd start another fight.
Ray didn't do that. Ray paid out the $5,000.
He paid the money to the people who were wrong.
He sent the money to the people who answered 30 degrees. The people who were mathematically, physically, and structurally incorrect.
Why? Why did he do that?
To make a point. He posted, "Good job, you win." But the subtext was devastatingly loud.
What was the subtext?
He was effectively saying, you can keep your prize money and your code books. You can keep your broken system. I possess the actual truth.
Wow.
He lost the financial bet, but he established complete intellectual superiority. And more importantly, he realized something critical.
What that?
Arguing on a forum was never going to change the industry.
Because the industry values compliance over truth.
Correct. So Ray decided to shift the battlefield. He realized that if these guys think they are experts because they can quote a book, he needed to test them in the real world.
The real world.
Not on paper, not in a forum thread, in a living room with a real customer.
Enter the $50,000 chimney sales challenge. This is a massive escalation. We go from a $5,000 forum post to a high-stakes tournament.
And notice the entry fee. It costs $2,000 just to get a seat at the table.
That's a significant barrier to entry.
It's huge.
That filters out the casual commenters, the keyboard warriors, immediately.
That's the design. Ray wants warriors, not keyboard warriors. He set up a bracket of 16 competitors. Single elimination. Winner takes 50 grand.
And the runner-up gets nothing.
Nothing. But the format is what really fascinates me. It isn't a written test. It's a live fire exercise, a simulation.
Walk us through the arena. How do you simulate a chimney sale in a tournament? This sounds complicated.
They use Google Meet. They have a technician on the ground. Could be an actor, could be a neutral party, we're not sure. At a real house.
With a real homeowner?
With a real homeowner who has actual legitimate chimney damage. The contestant is remote. They are sitting at their computer, watching through the text camera, acting as the expert in the technician's ear.
So they're like a remote operator.
Precisely. They have to direct the camera, spot the hazards, explain the physics to the customer, and this is the crucial part, close the deal.
And how is it scored? What's the metric for winning a round?
This is the most controversial part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is not scored on, did you find every crack?
Okay.
It is not scored on, did you cite the code correctly? The score is simply total dollars sold and scheduled for repair within 7 days.
Wow. Okay, just raw sales numbers.
That's it. No points for style, no points for accuracy, only closed deals count.
Okay, I have to push back on that a little bit. That feels problematic.
How so?
Isn't that just incentivizing fear-mongering? If the only metric is dollars sold, couldn't I just terrify the homeowner into buying a $10,000 repair they don't really need just to win the contest?
That is the immediate criticism, and it's a valid concern. On the surface, it sounds predatory.
Right. It sounds like you're rewarding the best liar.
But Ray frames it very, very differently. He calls it ethical combat.
Ethical combat.
His argument is this. If the chimney is actually dangerous, if there's a hole that could bring the house down, a real 21-degree structural problem, then failing to sell the repair is a failure of your duty as an expert.
I see. So if I write a perfect report that says, danger, do not use, but the homeowner ignores me because I was boring or unconvincing,
And then their house burns down.
then I haven't actually helped them. I failed.
Exactly. Ray is redefining the term educator. He says a true educator doesn't just present facts, they compel action. If you can't make the homeowner feel the reality of the danger, the 21-degree reality, not just the 30-degree code book reality, then you aren't an expert.
They're just a spectator.
You're just a spectator. In Ray's view, the sale is the proof that education happened. The signed contract is your report card.
That's a powerful reframing. It turns sales from something that can feel slimy, like taking money, into something noble, like saving lives.
It's a complete paradigm shift.
And Ray is so confident in his philosophy that he entered himself in the tournament, didn't he?
He did. He put up the $50,000 prize money, and he fully expects to win it back. He is competing against the other 15 entrants.
That is supreme confidence. That's next level. Come take my money if you can.
It is.
But based on the documents we have, his confidence doesn't come from standard sales training. He isn't quoting Glengarry Glen Ross. He isn't talking about ABC always be closing.
Not even close.
He's talking about Warrior monks.
This is where the story takes a sharp left turn into the bizarre, and I mean truly bizarre. Ray bases his entire professional philosophy on a U.S. Army manual from the late 70s.
What we mentioned.
Yeah, written by Lieutenant Colonel Jim Channon. It's called the 1st Earth Battalion Field Manual.
I'm looking at the PDF of this manual right now, and it does not look like a military document.
It's wild, isn't it?
It looks like a sketchbook from a commune. There are drawings of soldiers holding lambs. There are diagrams of auras and spirit work. It looks like the whole Earth catalog met the Pentagon and had a very strange baby.
It was a very real, very serious attempt to reinvent the soldier following the trauma of the Vietnam War.
So this wasn't a joke. This was a real project.
A very real project. Shannon's idea was to create warrior monks, soldiers who could use meditation, yoga, and psychological operations to win wars without killing.
How?
The goal was to process information on a higher level, spiritual, mental, and physical, to be so centered that you could de-escalate any conflict.
And Ray Gessner, a chimney sweep from the 21st century, looked at this manual about stopping wars with love and mind power and said,
Yes, this is how I will sell flu liners.
it sounds funny when you put it that way. It sounds absurd.
It does, but when you dig into the specific concepts, the application is actually brilliant. It's shockingly practical. Take the concept of attention without tension.
Okay, the manual mentions RPMs in that section, right? Like a record player.
Yes, it uses a great analogy. It says the average person and the average soldier in a firefight operates at 78 RPM. Frantic, high beta waves, panic. They are moving too fast to perceive reality accurately. They're just reacting.
Okay.
The warrior monk, through training, learns to operate at 3313 RPM.
The speed of a vinyl LP.
Slow, grounded, low frequency, calm and in control, even when everything around them is chaos.
So how does that apply to a sales call in someone's living room?
Think about the last time you had a contractor in your house. If they're rushing, checking their phone, talking fast, vibrating with stress, do you trust them?
No.
Not at all.
I feel like they're trying to get to the next job. I feel like I'm an inconvenience. My guard goes up immediately.
Exactly. They're projecting tension. Ray trains to enter the home at 3313 RPM. He calls this the foundation. By slowing his own internal clock, by being completely present, he forces the homeowner to slow down too.
It creates a vacuum of authority.
That's a great way to put it. He isn't frantic to sell you. He's just there to observe and report on reality.
It's like he's anchoring the reality of the room. He sets the emotional thermostat.
He is. And the manual also talks heavily about pre-visualization. It has a whole section on it. It says, practice events in the mind. See the successful outcome before it happens.
Like elite athletes do.
Exactly like athletes do. Ray takes this literally. Before the camera turns on for the tournament, before he even sees the homeowner, he has already lived through the sale in his mind. He has visualized the inspection, the objection from the husband, the explanation that wins over the wife, and the signature on the contract.
He's already won in his head.
Which leads us to the other source text we have, which is Ray's own Chimney inspection guide. It's like his personal commentary on the Earth Battalion manual. And it takes this visualization concept and gets into some heavy physics. It explicitly references Schrodinger's cat.
He's bringing quantum mechanics into a chimney inspection manual.
He does. And this is where Ray connects the warrior monk to the quantum physicist. The text argues that a sales call is a quantum event.
Okay, unpack that.
Until the decision is made, the outcome is a wave of probability, a wave function. It is both a sale and no sale simultaneously.
The cat is both alive and dead.
Exactly. The contract is both signed and unsigned. It exists in a state of pure potential.
And the technician is the observer, the one who opens the box.
Correct. And this is the core of his entire philosophy. The text argues that the observer's expectation collapses the wave function. The act of observing forces a single reality to emerge from the cloud of possibilities.
So if you walk in thinking, this guy looks cheap, he won't buy, or I'm not sure if this is really broken.
You are collapsing the reality into a no sale. You are subconsciously signaling defeat. Your posture, your tone, your word choice, everything is tainted by your expectation of failure.
So you are creating the failure you fear.
Precisely. Ray trains himself to enter with the absolute, unshakable certainty of a yes. He calls it faith, and he even compares it to the biblical concept of faith moving mountains.
But in his framework, it's not spiritual, it's a mechanism of physics.
Yes. It's a calculated use of the observer effect. He believes his certainty, his collapsed wave function, is stronger than the homeowner's doubt. It's a battle of realities.
It's weaponized placebo effect. Or I guess a weaponized observer effect. If I believe it enough, I make it true for everyone in the room.
In a social interaction, yes, the dominant reality wins. If my reality is, this house is dangerous and must be fixed, and I hold that reality with zero doubt because I'm operating at 3313 RPM.
The homeowner gets sucked into my gravity.
Yeah.
They adopt my reality because their own reality of maybe it's fine is weaker.
You've got it. That's the whole game.
Let's get into the tactics, because all this philosophy is great. Be the wave function, be the monk. But Ray has a very specific order of operations for how a warrior monk behaves physically.
He does. It's very granular.
So how does this manifest when he pulls up to a house? What's the first step?
It starts with the biosphere, the body. The manual is strict about diet and sleep. Not for vanity, not to look good, but for reaction time. If you are tired or hungover or ate a heavy, greasy lunch, your emotional control slips. You can't hold the 3313 state. You get agitated easily.
So Ray Gessner is eating clean, not to look good on the beach, but to optimize his sales performance.
He treats his body like a weapon system. It must be clean, fueled, and ready. The manual is also strict about avoiding alcohol or drugs because they dull the awareness needed to perceive the subtle cues from the homeowner.
Okay, so the internal state is optimized. Then what? The vehicle.
The approach, even before he gets out of the truck, he's gathering intelligence, he looks at the neighborhood. Are the houses well kept? Is there a new roof on the neighbor's house? Let's give some context. Then parking.
Parking.
The manual says, never block the homeowner's driveway.
That seems like basic courtesy.
It is, but it's a sign of respect for their territory.
Right.
You are a guest, you are not invading, you park on the street, out of the way. But the most interesting tactic for me is the knock.
I read this part. It's incredibly specific. It felt like choreography.
It is choreography.
Yeah.
It's a psychological operation in 3 steps. The instructions are, knock firmly so they know you're there with purpose.
Step 1.
Step 2, immediately step back from the door, at least a full arm's length, maybe 2,
Why?
to give them space, to not be intimidating. Most people crowd the door, and when it opens, they're looming in the homeowner's personal space. Stepping back is a gesture of safety.
And step 3 is the weird one.
Step 3 is the clincher. You turn your body sideways.
Why sideways? Is he posing? What is that about?
It's evolutionary psychology. Think about 2 animals meeting in the wild. Facing someone square on chest to chest is a confrontational stance. It's a challenge. It says, I am blocking your path. I am a threat.
Okay.
By turning sideways, you reduce your silhouette, you make yourself look smaller, and more importantly, you expose your vital organs on your side, which is a deep subconscious trust-building gesture. It says, I am not a threat to you.
That's non-confrontational.
Completely. So the homeowner opens the door instead of a big guy in a uniform towering over them, blocking their view of the world.
They see a professional standing back, giving them space, turned sideways, smiling calmly.
Attention without tension. The homeowner's cortisol levels drop immediately. Their fight or flight response is disarmed.
And that's before a word is spoken.
Before a single word is spoken, the sale is won or lost in the first 3 seconds on the doorstep. The 1st Earth Battalion manual calls this first impression operations.
The manual also mentions cosmic costuming, which in the 70s I think meant capes and spandex and maybe a crystal.
Thankfully, Ray adapted that. He did not go with the capes.
So how does he translate cosmic costuming?
In the Chimney inspection text, it translates to the vessel, which means the truck and the uniform.
Okay, that's more practical.
The uniform must be clean, tucked in, professional. The truck must be organized. He makes a huge point of this. If your truck is messy, your mind is messy. If you have loose tools rolling around in the back, you have loose discipline.
It's all signaling. It's all part of the same story.
It's all consistent reality construction. If you claim to be an expert on safety and precision, but your truck is a disaster zone, you are sending conflicting signals. The homeowner's subconscious picks up on that dissonance.
The warrior monk sends one coherent signal.
One signal, I am in control. I am safe. I am the expert. The reality I am about to present to you is the true reality.
So bringing this back to the tournament, you have Ray, who has integrated all this, the math of the 21 degrees, the physics of the wave function, the psychological warfare of the Earth Battalion.
It's all of it.
And he is going up against 15 other technicians.
Most of whom are probably excellent technicians in the traditional sense. They know the code, they know the tools, they know how to sweep a flue.
But they're playing checkers.
And Ray believes they are playing a different game entirely. They're playing Find the Defect. Ray is playing Collapse the Wave Function.
It really challenges the listener to think about their own job, whatever that might be. We all have our code books. the standard way of doing things.
The rules we follow blindly because that's how it's always been done.
And we all have our 78 RPM days where we are just frantic and reactive, letting the world happen to us instead of shaping it.
Absolutely. We're just trying to get through the to-do list.
Ray is asking, what if you stopped checking boxes and started engineering reality? What if you understood the spirit of the geometry, the 21 degrees, rather than just the rule in the book?
That is the core of another Earth Battalion concept. Spirit over structure.
Explain that.
The structure is the code book. The spirit is the physics. The structure is the sales script you memorized. The spirit is the genuine connection with the homeowner.
So the structure is the what, and the spirit is the why.
Precisely. Ray believes that if you stay in the structure, you are replaceable by anyone else with the same book. If you master the spirit, you are undeniable.
It's a compelling pitch. It really is. And for anyone listening who thinks this is just, a bunch of New Age talk, the bracket is open.
That's right. 16 spots, $2,000 to enter, $50,000 to the winner.
If you think you are good at sales, if you think you can connect with a human being better than Ray can, the door is open.
Ray Gessner is literally waiting for you to come and take his money. He's inviting the challenge.
But be warned, you aren't walking into a math test. You're not going to win by quoting the IRC.
You aren't walking into a debate about code books. You're walking into a reality distortion field. You better bring your own 33-13 game, or you are going to get swept.
Pun intended.
Pun absolutely intended.
I love it. Look, sometimes the code book is wrong, sometimes the math is right, but the judge rules against you. But in the end, as Ray says, the only thing that matters is the result.
Did you fix the problem?
Did you protect the house? Did you get the signature on the dotted line?
And did you do it with the spirit of a warrior monk?
That's the standard he's setting. I'm going to be checking the angle of my fireplace tonight. And maybe my own RPMs.
Stay centered. Don't operate at 78.
Thanks for diving in with us. This was a strange one, but a good one. We'll see you in the next one.